He'll watch a movie, then he'll tell you all about it. It's the Armstrong Entertainment Show.
Hello everyone and welcome to Armstrong Entertainment. This is Chad here and I saw the movie Wonderstruck, starring Julianne Moore, Michelle Williams, and two unknown actor kids. It's directed by Todd Haynes, who did Carol and Far From Heaven. Now this is a director who has Oscar written all over him. This is one of those films that, just with all of these names attached, you're thinking, oh, it's going to get nominated for some Oscars and there's going to be some nominations here. Probably not. This film is based off of a children's book called Wonderstruck. It's the story of two deaf children, one set in the 1920s, one set in the 1970s. So Rose is this deaf little girl searching for her mother in New York City in the 1920s, and Ben is in the 1970s looking for his father in New York. Obviously, their stories connect. The whole time you're trying to figure out how, though, because it's kind of confusing. And at one point, I gave up and I stopped caring. But you can figure it out if you really think about it. I'm just really dumb and I didn't figure it out. Well, I did. Okay, I figured it out at one obvious point, but, yeah. I definitely leaned towards the 1920s story with Rose because it was set in black and white. It's literally a silent film. There's no dialogue because she's deaf. And it was all about the music and the score, and that was definitely its own character, and I loved the musical score. So if this movie's going to get nominated for anything, that's what it would be. This movie includes Julianne Moore. She's really not in it that much. She's definitely a supporting character. She's great, though. And Michelle Williams is in even less. She's literally in this movie for, I would say, under 5 minutes, and she probably shot this in a day. Definitely would have liked to see these two women a little bit more, but it's based off this children's book, so you get what you get. Now, I saw this movie 4 days ago, and I am having a very hard time remembering it, which is really scary. Either because I have early onset dementia, or because this movie wasn't very memorable, and I'm hoping it's the latter. But not a lot happens in this film. It's like this big adventure, but nothing's really happening. It's not that interesting. The most interesting thing and confusing thing for me was something that's going to be so stupid, but the character of Jamie. He or she was in the 1970s and befriends Ben in the museum, and the entire time I was trying to figure out if it was a boy or a girl. And I know it doesn't matter, and I know it shouldn't matter, but I literally have not had this hard of a time figuring out if a little boy or girl was a little boy or girl since Panic Room with Kristen Stewart. I made the decision that it was a girl, and I was wrong. It's a boy. Not that it matters, but I just thought it was the most mysterious thing about this movie. My favorite part by far was the very last 10-15 minutes. There was a stop animation sequence where Julianne Moore is telling a story, and it was incredible. I loved it so much. It almost saved the movie for me, just those last 15 minutes. I wish the whole movie would have had this stop animation thing, but it didn't. They just kind of threw it in at the end, which felt really odd and weird, and I wish it would have been sprinkled throughout. So overall, I would say this movie was a meh. Nobody's really going to care to see this, and now I understand why it's only playing in select theaters. It's probably not going to get a wide release to much fanfare. It was interesting, I guess, and the stop animation thing was cool, but overall it was kind of a boring story, and this is definitely my least favorite film of Todd Haynes. It's called Wonderstruck, and it is probably not playing in a theater near you unless you live near an arc light. All right, until next time. Oh, somebody, please! My most favorite part of this movie, I forgot to say, was sign language. I want to learn sign language so bad. I've been wanting to learn it for years, and I've just never made myself do it. And I think this movie is finally going to be that catalyst to make me do it. So I'm going to go on my computer and watch as many YouTube videos about sign language because I just think it's so interesting and cool and a great way of communicating. And that was my favorite thing, my biggest takeaway from this film. And the fact that Jamie was a boy and not a girl. Until next time.
He'll watch a movie, then he'll tell you all about it. It's the Armstrong Entertainment Show.